All right, welcome back. So today, we're jumping headfirst into something really cool, the art of AI filmmaking. We're talking about models like VO3 and how you can take a simple idea, just a few words, and turn it into something that looks, well, absolutely cinematic. We're going to break it all down, show you how to talk to the AI like a real director, so you get the exact shot, the exact mood, the exact story you've got pictured in your head. Okay, so I want you to picture this scene. You've got this gorgeous, modern office, right at sunrise. The whole city is just starting to glow outside the window, and there's a character. They go from being thoughtful and quiet to suddenly getting this burst of confidence. They look right at you, smile with this incredible determination, and say that line. It looks like it was ripped straight out of a Hollywood movie, right? So here's the question. What kind of crazy, complicated, multi-page prompt would you need to write to get that result?
Well, what if I told you that whole thing, that entire emotionally rich scene, was created from just one single text prompt? Not a script, not a team of animators, just one perfectly worded command. That, right there, is the power we're going to tap into today. So let's do it. We're going to tear that prompt apart, piece by piece, and really figure out how to speak the language of AI filmmaking.
And here it is. This is the exact prompt that created our scene. Go ahead, take a second to look at it. I know, it might seem like a lot at first glance, but trust me, every single word in there is doing some heavy lifting. You've got instructions for the setting, the character's exact actions, the camera moves, the lighting, even the sound design. This isn't just some vague description, you know. It's literally a complete cinematic blueprint. So, let's start digging in, and we'll begin with the most important part, the story.
First things first, story. Look, you can have all the fancy camera work in the world, but if there's no story, who cares? The story is the foundation. It's everything. And to build a real narrative inside a single AI shot, you've got to use this really simple but incredibly powerful technique. I like to call it the this, then that method. It's all about creating a clear sequence of events.
Okay, so check this out. See how these steps map perfectly onto the prompt we just saw? We start with step 1, the subject is thoughtful, head lowered, right? Then we move to step 2, they exhale, straighten up, and start typing with confidence. And finally, step 3, they lift their head and give that smile of quiet determination. Boom. In just 3 simple beats, we've guided the AI to create a whole emotional journey, from doubt to decision. So the big takeaway here is simple. If you want to direct emotion, you have to direct action, in the right order.
We've got our story arc locked in. Now we have to actually shoot it. This is where things get really fun. Because learning how to direct that virtual camera, that's your key to controlling exactly what the audience sees, and more importantly, what they feel. It's all about learning to speak the camera's language.
And this is a perfect way to think about it. Our prompt used both ends of this spectrum, right? We started out with that wide establishing shot. Why? Because we needed to set the scene. We needed to tell the viewer, okay, here's where we are, and here's when it's happening. It gives context. But the real emotional punch, the payoff, that happens with the extreme close-up. That shot forces you to get right in there, to connect with that character's final look of determination. It's what makes the whole moment feel so personal and powerful.
So the big question is, how do you get from that wide shot all the way to that intimate close-up? Well, our prompt was super specific. It called for a dolly push-in. Now, this is really important. It's not just a zoom. A zoom just magnifies the image. A dolly physically moves the camera closer to the subject, and the effect is totally different. Psychologically, it feels like we, the audience, are moving into their personal space. It slowly ratchets up the intensity and pulls us right into their head. It's a classic filmmaking trick for a reason.
Okay, let's take a breath. We've got our story, we've got our camera moves, we're in a really good place. But what's the difference between a pretty good AI generation and one that feels genuinely professional? One that has real atmosphere? Well, it all comes down to 2 things, light and sound.
So, notice how our prompt didn't just say, make the lighting look good. No, it got specific. It actually described a professional lighting setup. You've got your key light, that's the main light source, the one that's really shaping the character's face. Then there's the fill light, which is there to soften any harsh shadows, making the whole scene feel a bit warmer, more inviting. And my personal favorite, the rim light, which creates that subtle, beautiful glow around the shoulders that just makes the subject pop right off the background. You put all those together, and that's how you get that polished, 3-dimensional look.
And of course, you absolutely cannot forget the sound. Our prompt specifically asked for audio sync. And just like with the lighting, it's all about layering. You start with those ambient office sounds. That immediately makes the whole world feel more real, more believable. But then, as our character's confidence starts to build, so does the music. That soft cinematic swell just cranks up the emotion. It all leads to that one final crystal clear line of dialogue. See, the sound is telling the exact same story that the visuals are. They're working together.
So let's recap. We've broken down story, camera, lighting, and sound. That's a lot. But here's the best part. You do not have to reinvent the wheel and build these super complex prompts from scratch every single time. The best way to think about it is that all these techniques are just ingredients. And now we're going to look at how you can mix and match them into different recipes or style templates to get exactly what you want for any project.
Seriously, think of this as your new best friend, your creative cheat sheet. The prompt we've been dissecting this whole time, that's a perfect blend of cinematic and corporate. But what if you need something totally different? Say you're making a documentary. Well, you'd probably ask for things like natural camera work and real environments. Or maybe you're making a quick video for social media. You might want mobile-friendly angles and a more casual tone. It's all about picking and choosing. Every style here is just a different mix of those core building blocks we've already covered.
So, when you boil it all down, what have we learned? That crafting a great prompt isn't some dry technical exercise. It's a deeply creative act. You're not just typing words. You're being a screenwriter, a director, and a cinematographer all at the same time. You now have the vocabulary. You have the tools to take that amazing vision you have in your head and make it a cinematic reality. You know the language now. So, the only question left is, what story are you going to tell?